Happy New Year, ladies and gents. Happy New Year. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So today we're doing kind of like a follow-up video. All right. And this is the follow-up video to my 9-round Glock 42. All right. So first off, as you can see, all clear. Just left the gun range, by the way. Only did a quick wipe down on the firearm here. But here you have it, guys. This is my Glock 42. All right. Been putting rounds through it, putting it through its paces just to, see how I like the feel of everything. All right. As you guys already know, they're already good out of the box. But what I must say is before I get into anything, this gun had the worst stock trigger out of any Glock that I have. All right. And basically what it was the trigger pull was very tough. All right. And it wasn't that smooth. Normally the Glocks out of the box, they're, pretty smooth. But it seems like with the smaller firearms, the triggers do seem to be rougher than normal. All right. We experienced that with the 43X MOS. We also experienced that with the Glock 42 here. All right. So basically, you can watch the previous, or I would say the older video that we have for the rundown of how I set it up. All right. Now, since then, what I have done is I put the orange trigger on here, and you guys may have seen that addition in one of the other videos that I did after that one. But I like this trigger. Flat face, pretty wide. All right. The trigger that I had on the 9-round Glock 42 video was basically an aftermarket trigger that was smooth. Okay. And it looked pretty much like the Glock trigger that came in the gun. It performed just like the stock trigger, but it just was smooth. All right. It was shaped exactly like the other trigger, except for the fact that it doesn't have the serrations on it. And I think I paid like $9 or $10 for that trigger. All right. I did not like the serrations on the stock trigger. I prefer, if I'm going to use a Glock trigger, I prefer it be the smooth one. All right. But with these tiny firearms, you can see the size of my hands. The smooth trigger, I could feel just the little lines and the, for some reason on this firearm, it bothered me more than normal. All right. So I didn't want to be thinking about that when it's time to shoot. And I noticed that that's what I was doing at the range. So we had swapped that out and put the smooth one in there for that particular video. Like this much better. Also, as you can see, there's very little space in between there. I actually short stroke this trigger. All right. My trigger housing. So that's a whole nother video for another day. All right. But it runs flawlessly. Okay. Not sure if I had the sights on here the last time. I can't remember. But we do have the glowing night sights. They're very bright. True glows. All right. Pretty good. One of the best sights that you can actually put on this firearm. All right. Now, every time that I have shot this firearm, runs flawless. No hiccups, no failure to feeds, no failure to ejects, no misfeeds, no misfires, no nothing. Back in the day when this 42 first dropped, not this particular one, but when the 42s, when I say drop, meaning first came out, the very first Glock 42s, a long time ago, used to have all types of problems. All right. That's long gone. If you hear anybody, still bringing that stuff up, they haven't been on the scene with the Glocks, especially with the Glock 42s, in a long time, because they've been got rid of all of those problems and issues and jamming and all that kind of stuff that they were known for. So pretty much what it is the components that come in these Glock 42 now, these 42s nowadays are pretty much Gen 4, between Gen 4 and Gen 5 components. All right, they never specifically say which one it is when it comes to like the 43s and the 42s. All right, but just know that's the time frame around when those components were made, and you know, very reliable, very accurate. Like I said, I just left the range earlier. I will be putting some of that bonus footage at the end of this video. Okay, so just stick around for that, guys. Also, if these videos are helping you in any way, please continue to like, subscribe. Feel free to leave comments. Let us know what you think. All right, guys. So magazine here, no problems with it. This is an ETS. All right. For some reason, you know, you get some people, oh, ETS is garbage, it's trash. Been running it for a year. Haven't had any problems. All right, guys. I even modified the follower in there just so we can get all of our rounds comfortably in there. All right. So we do have a +1. All right, guys. ETS is 7, +1, 8, 1 in the chamber, 9. All right, so that's how we get 9 rounds in the Glock 42, in case you missed the last video. Some people, why would you modify, you know, the magazine or the follower and all that kind of stuff? Well, they have a tendency, even without the +1, they have a tendency to not allow you to get all your rounds in the magazine. Okay. After some time, once, you know, the springs get worn, broken in, you know, you can get your last round in there, but then it's still kind of tight. You don't want it that tight because that could cause failure, you know. So you want to avoid that type of stuff. So, you know, me knowing what the issue was, I just worked it out ahead of time. And that's one of the things that I did when I first got the firearm. All right. Now, with that being said, I do all of this stuff so you guys don't have to do the trial and error. Okay. And then you only remove a small fraction of the follower. You know, you can check out the video for that, but basically it gives just enough clearance, you know, so all your rounds could get in there, your spring can function properly, the magazine is not too tight, you know, there's not enough pressure to cause anything to go wrong, or the magazine to, you know, crack or anything like that. So doing something like that is just only going to make what you have operate even better in the ETS mag. Okay. Now, one thing right here, this backside backstrap plug, this butt plug right here is necessary for this firearm. The reason being, it takes up the tiny bit of slack between your +1, the back part of your +1, and your backstrap there. All right. Now what happens is, if any of you guys have Glock 26s and you run extensions, X grips, or, you know, anything like that, and you have ever changed the magazine spring in your 26 to a lighter magazine spring, and when you go to squeeze the grip module, it puts downward force and pulls it backward. All right. I experienced that with my 26 when I tried to put a light magazine spring in there a while ago. All right. Took it right back out because you could not get the firearm to fire properly if you put a lot of force on with your pinky finger. All right. So just knowing that from the Glock 26s, that was one of the first things I did as well. All right. And you can feel the difference with it in there. You know, you don't have as much play. And even at the range, I purposely tried to, like, you know, just hold it very tight using my pinky, all my fingers. Not one problem. All right. Now, I didn't take it out to try to see if, you know, it would do it or, you know, cause a failure to feed or anything like that. So I did not try that. But like I said, guys, when we find issues and, you know, with other Glock platforms, 26, stuff like that, just knowing those certain things, I'll just go ahead and implement them from the get-go. You know, this stuff only costs a few dollars to buy these parts. All right. Everything works great. All the additions work out well. All right. For my hand, my grip, and the way that I operate the firearm. So basically, this gun is pretty much the way I want it. All right. I'm actually finished with this. I do have another little surprise for you guys, something internal that you can't see that I'm going to add to this firearm. So I'll do that in another video. All right, guys, but I will give that and share that to you. But for the most part, the way this firearm looks and functions is perfect. You know, I didn't want too much orange, wanted just enough to make everything pop, and didn't want to have just one orange piece on there. So we got at least two. So from a look standpoint, you know, just something to catch your eye, just an accent, a couple accents there. But when your hand's on a firearm, you can't even see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like something that's going to give you away, you know, in a gunfight or something like that. So guys, that's pretty much it. A little over a 1-year review. No issues, no problems. Great self-defense gun. You can back your assailants up off you. Fatally wound them if you need to. Definitely gets the job done, guys. All right. You're not going to go on offense with this. You're not going to go and get into a shootout with 30 gang members with a Glock 42. You know, it's not going to happen. All right. You'd be crazy to do so. You only want to get these little small firearms with, when I say small capacity, you know, 8-9 rounds is, in today's standards, pretty low capacity compared to a lot of the firearms that come with 15, 17, and some you can get 20 rounds in some factory magazines. But there you have it, guys. Stay tuned for the bonus footage. See you on the next one.